Your Michigan State Spartans looked great in a decisive second half.
I think I like this little lie.
What was that?
It's some TikTok trend I saw.
What's the premise of it?
You just say, I like this little lie.
Life?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said I like this little lie, and you were saying like
No,
I'm lying.
like,
Oh, so you
like
like this life?
right now, I do like this little life.
You love this 10-7, 2-4 life of yours.
I love a Sunday where I see Steven Izzo score and then I see my quarterback pack up my ex-quarterback.
Quarterback. I got my ex-quarterback. Oh, yeah, got it. I was trying to follow. We're doing Lions. I thought you were talking Michigan State again. I was like, is Peyton Thorne back? What happened? Okay, yeah, let's start with the fun. Steven Izzo, and one. Count it. That shit was tough. Uh,
That move was tough.
I never thought I would see this ever, and I can't believe this is my take. I can't believe it. I have a take. It was awesome. It was awesome. I have critiqued this. I have made fun of it. For those that don't know, Steven Izzo went to my high school. He played in a grade level that I coached. Like I literally coached the kids on his team through the high school years at the younger level, at the youth level. I saw them come to high school. He never should have been on the high school teams. Never should have. There were years that he was. There were years that he wasn't. He came in and out depending on who was coaching and what the situation was. Not a good basketball player. A lot of people clowned it at the time when he got the walk on. For the record, I don't know that I've ever said this on camera. I think I've said it to you. I actually haven't had a problem with the fact that he's had a walk on spot. Some people have really had an issue with this. I think the head coach should be able to pick whoever he wants for his walk-ons. Like, is it easy to poke fun at? Yeah. Does it matter at the end of the day? No. Is he like robbing an opportunity from someone who deserves it? No. Who cares? With that said, I never once thought he would score. Like just purely off the caliber basketball player that he is. Thought there was a 0% chance this would ever happen. Thought he might jack up like a half-court shot, and that might be his best chance of it going in. Just shoot when no one's guarding you. Cart, this move was tough. Like,
It was tough.
he put it on the floor against a legitimate Division I defender with the tween to the right, like, takes the body contact. It was a foul. It was not a cheapie. He takes the contact, and he, like, adjusted, like, it was like a legitimate guard move. And one puts that shit up, gets the roll. And the most impressive thing, he steps to the line and bangs the free throw like a true hooper does. I thought it was awesome. Good for Steven. Culmination of all these times he's come in the game, and emotional moment with Tom for sure. It was fun to watch that play out.
Yeah, I think that, I've had like many of just conversations, I guess, or takes on, what Steven Izzo being on the team and things like that. It never really like bothered me to the point where I was like, God, why are we going through this? Are there some moments I'm probably not proud of where I was like, okay, I'm watching all these centers and watch us not be able to shoot. And I look down at the end of the bench and I see Steven and I get upset. Yeah, I'd admit that happened. I'm not gonna lie to you folks. But I just think it was just like it was a fun moment just because I truly thought he would never score. And I thought he might score like his first would be like a free throw or like a fluky basket. Like you said, this man made a legit dribble tween, body contact, fade out of bounds, float, and one. And to see the excitement of the team was fun. Tom was obviously emotional about it. And then for anyone who hasn't seen it after the game, they did kind of like one of those half the screen watch the basket, half the screen like he's like watching it and describing what happened. And I thought it was pretty special to see him get like emotional about it, about how, obviously state basketball has been like a huge part of his life, and how he loves his teammates, his dad, staff, and all that. So it was a pretty special moment. And to do the wrong thing in this situation and make it about me, there's there's some great things about like father-son moments. Like I love a good father-son moment. I truly do. Like you had the moment where you got to see your dad win a national championship, or watch Michigan win a national championship with him, and I'm sure like that was like special. even on a smaller scale, like all the all the all the Lions games that me and my dad have gone to, and like all the games we watched together, like being there to watch them win their first playoff game yesterday was like a special moment where I like caught myself like, damn, this is awesome. Like I'm gonna remember this forever. And I think like bring it full circle, Coach Izzo and Steven having that moment, I think is just like really special. And Coach Izzo's been coaching for so long too, and he's seen like great things, highs, lows, all that. I'm pretty sure like he just feels like content now. Like that's like the cherry on top of like an amazing career wherever how longer it goes. Like he'll have that moment. So like I'm a sucker for a good father-son moment.
Yeah, you're about to get a podcaster emotional here, Cart. That's what might happen here. Look, what's been lost on a lot of this, and lost, I think, when you and I talk about Tom Izzo and coaches in general and people and all this stuff, is like these are real human people with families. And
Yeah.
like these people actually like care about their families, unless they're Mel Tucker, then they don't. But like, like most people that are good-hearted people like do abundantly care about this stuff. And Tom and Steven, this whole thing, if you ask either of them, they've spoken about it at length before at media days, at other stuff. The truth of this from both of them has been this has been about spending more time with each other. And I think Tom, I don't know that Tom would ever say he regrets anything, but I know that it has weighed on Tom that like he has spent time away from Steven. And I know that like Steven seeks more than anything just quality time to be there and experience time with his father. And in the end, like that's what this whole thing has been about. It hasn't been about like nepotism. It hasn't been about anything selfish. It's been about the bond between Tom and Steven and spending more time behind the scenes when the cameras are off, going through what Tom's day-to-day life is like. And I think that's why Steven got emotional. Like when the interview you talked about, you should watch it if you haven't. Like he was just so thankful. He's like, I just am so appreciative. I've gotten to do this and to have a moment that I will remember that's my moment was really, really cool. And I can't ever hate on that because, like you said, like, shit, man, we've experienced it as the children. Like, I can't even imagine what it would be like 20, 30 years from now if I can ever have a moment to be that proud of my daughter for something. Like, that's what life is all about. So I'm
Yeah.
happy for both of them in a huge way. And as Rafael Davis says, this is the moment that turns Michigan State's season around.
Way too far, Rafael. Love you, my dog. Way too far. Let's appreciate the moment without going there.
Okay, you ready for my hottest take I've ever delivered on the show?
Yes.
I think it could be the moment that turns it around.
Oh my
Are
Greg.
you ready? So I've had some hot takes. I've had some legitimately hot takes. The hottest of hot. It's happened. I own my misses. Answer me this. Do I ever spit a take that I don't believe?
No.
Have I ever done that once?
No, you always believe.
I will always say what I believe on this program. Card, I thought about it. I was clowning the Rayfell thing, and then I thought about it. I think he's right. I think he's right. Hear me out. I think more than anything, this program just needed something fun. This program needed some good vibes. Now, could this have been the fun win, the good vibes win, even without Steven scoring? Maybe. Maybe in hindsight, like the home game against Rutgers was the moment. And it wasn't the Steven Izzo bucket that was the moment. But also at the same time, Card, when's the last time we've seen every single player on this Michigan State roster so happy, just joyful, in a moment, at the same time? Not once this season, other than maybe something in the Baylor game. But like, this team just needed something to galvanize them together. And as silly as it sounds, like the celebration, the way Jaden Akins responded flying through the air, the way the freshmen are standing there, like knowing, like without even knowing, this is their first 3 months with Steven and knowing how much it means to the program and Tom, like, I don't know, man, the schedule opens up. And I think this was like an emotional pivot point for this team.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you look at it like that, sometimes just having a game like this where you play well, things go well, you had that moment. I could see it. I guess I could see it. I still think there's obviously once we get down to like the actual what happened on the court, like there's other things we can nitpick at and point at, but to be able to win a game by almost 20 points at home against, obviously Rutgers isn't a good basketball team, but you want to win basketball games like this at home. Like we saw what Illinois did. They dropped a game to Maryland at home, and like that hurts them, and that would hurt. So, being able to have this good game, bounce back, and things got tight a little bit in the second half. Like all of a sudden, Rutgers, the worst offensive team in the country, was knocking down shots. And obviously that's what happens. There's nothing like Rutgers turning into the 2015 Warriors against us in the first half for the first couple minutes of the game and a couple times down the stretch. And we didn't get good games out of our backcourt in this game, to be honest. Like we didn't get Tyson Walker was 4 for 12. AJ Hogarth was 2 for 6 from the field. But we had other guys step up. I thought that Trey Holloman played great in this game. He played 27 minutes, 9 points, 6 assists to 0 turnovers. I wish I brought the tweet or the stat of it. Trey Holloman's like assist to turnover numbers this season are like insane.
Stupid.
Insane. Like crazy. Truly crazy. And he stepped up. Malik led the team 6 for 9 from the field, 15 points, 6 boards. It seems like a far cry go of a guy who played that same 27 minutes and didn't record a single stat. I still can't wrap my head around that. But yeah, I just think we did a good job of responding, especially with that mini run we had in the second half, being able to get out, run, and transition, make some good things happen. I thought that Colin Carr had a very impactful 10 minutes. I did want to speak on that because I think that he has, the way he's played lately, I think he's earned himself more minutes, to be honest with you, at least more than 10 in my eyes. So, yeah, I think it was a really good win, obviously winning at home after a tough loss on the road to Illinois. You want to come home and, defend home court and beat teams like Rutgers at home. So, yeah, all in all, good win. Hopefully this is like the start of, like you said, where the schedule opens up a little bit and we need to, rattle off some wins here consecutively.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'm glad you kind of went player by player through all those guys. Holloman, I agree. It's just been insane to watch how good he is as a facilitator this year. It's crazy. It's honestly optimistic for the future because, like, lost in the where is the Michigan State program at conversation is they probably lose AJ Hogarth and Tyson Walker both next year.
Yeah.
They definitely lose Tyson, probably lose AJ. So. Right. Say what you want. If the front court is back on this team, minus Malik Hall and minus the 2 best guards on the team, that's terrifying. But it gets less and less terrifying when you realize that Trey Holloman might be like a critical piece. Like he might be a point guard as much as he's playing off ball. Like he might be really good.
Yeah, and especially with the unfortunate thing that happened to Jeremy Fears, like when you look at it, that's stunning his growth for this year. Like he's gonna come back next season. It's gonna be basically like freshman year all over again. Who knows what he looks like after this? But obviously, hopefully he comes back and he's his development continues. But like that's a real world thing that we're probably gonna have to face. So yeah, in a season where I didn't expect anything from Trey Holloman, with my expectations coming into the season and how he's played this season, it's been something he deserves credit for.
Yeah, it's been really good. Agree with you on the Cohen stuff. He just, I don't know. When he's good, it's loud, and when he's bad, it's quiet. And
yeah, sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I think that when I watch him as of late, though, I think he's done things better, like the smaller things. Like I think he's done a better job of like realizing that his athleticism can help him like rebounding, and I think he's been better defensively as well. And that's where I think like you can put together why he earns more minutes because of what he does and how it affects it, and like his, I guess if you want to put it like this, his points, his dunks and things like that count for more, just like energy wise too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, when he's good, it's loud. When he's bad, it's quiet. I think the bad is becoming less and less, which is good. But, okay, we agree. Good win. Hopefully, a sign of things to come. Schedule opens up. All that we agree.
Yeah.
Can I do the "Are you concerned" game?
Yes.
Are you concerned that there was one massive run in this game, and outside of that massive run, the other 35 minutes were essentially played dead equal?
I I was, but at the same time, no, just because I don't expect both backcourt players to play as bad as they did.
Okay.
Like usually, I honestly I prepare myself mentally for one to do it, not for both.
Okay. You thought Tyson played bad?
Not I guess to my standards, yeah,
I think Rutgers defense is just really good.
they are really good. You did text me like in the middle of this game, and you're like, why is like Rutgers as bad as they are? Like they got some, they're good defensively, and they actually have like guys, right?
Yeah, so that's I did an
Ivy?
all-time jinx, which I'm not proud of. And if Michigan State fans had heard me do this publicly, they would have clowned me and victory lapped me for it. But I'll just be honest, I'll be transparent about it. I said to my best friend Andrew Robeson, in the living room before we were going to Lions games, we're watching this game. I said to him, like, the scariest part of this for Michigan State is that the talent feels equal. Like, obviously, Tyson Walker is the best player on the floor, but outside of that, that's kind of been the thing in all the Michigan State games this year, right? It's like, wow, Tyson's clearly great. And then like you could tell me like Mawat Mag and Andre Hyatt were every Michigan State player, and I would agree, right? Like
Right.
it's kind of like both teams are all a bunch of guys like that. And then immediately after I said that was like the 18-0 Michigan State run. So I think I completely jinxed it, but I kind of stand by it. Like outside of Tyson, like truly everybody else in a Michigan State uniform in this game, to me, like feels like a Rutgers role player. And maybe that's not fair to AJ Hogard, but like also like AJ Hogard in a Rutgers uniform for 4 years would make a lot more sense than a Michigan State uniform for 4 years to me. So I don't know. They got dudes, but I don't know. Runs are a part of the basketball game, obviously. Like if you can go on kill shots, shout out Evan Mia, that's a huge thing. But I don't know. It was a takeaway for me. Like this wasn't a methodical 20-point win. This was a pretty evenly played game, other than when Michigan State poured it on for 6 minutes.
Yeah, I hate that it had to come down to that. I see what you're saying. I think that's a fair point to make. And we brought that point up before. Like we were watching when they played at Nebraska, and I was just looking like, okay, like why do we look like talent wise on par with Nebraska? Like this kind of sucks. So I ain't mad at that take.
So when you had to get though, and you got it at home, which is critical. Um, What's Rutgers going to look like next year? Just a quick Rutgers question. They're going to have Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper, two of the top three freshmen in the country, in a Steve Peichel offense, and Steve Peichel defense is historically elite. What the hell does that look like?
I'm scared for that, to be honest with you. I think my dog Pike needs to have a come to offense moment this summer. And I don't know how he gets it done, but I think some changes need to be made based on the personnel on this team. And I don't know if that's like him doing something different offensively or like doing add someone to the staff who's like an offensive coordinator or something like that. But you need to don't don't take two Ferraris and Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper and take them like off roading, like with a bunch of four wheelers.
Okay.
Sorry for that ass analogy, but that's all I got right now.
My thought is that it's a lot more likely that Rutgers defense gets worse than it is that their offense gets better when those two guys are added into the mix.
See, I don't think those two guys are that bad defensively though. At the same time,
I don't think you're going to see a top 10 defense in the country with two ball dominant, want to score 20 freshmen.
yeah, possible.
I could be wrong on that. Maybe Peichel's that good at coaching defense. We'll see. But
I'm
I
still
just
I'm
fear
still
for it.
all in on my big three of Gavin Griffiths, Ace Bailey, and Dylan Harper next season.
Yeah, Gavin Griffiths, who has played a combined 19 minutes in his last three games, scoring 2 points on 1 for 5 from the field.
Yep,
Oh no,
free
sorry,
him.
one for 1 for 9 from the field.
Free him.
Should free him. He might play in East Lansing. Honestly, you need a shooter on the wing. Be something. Okay. When's Michigan State's next loss? One of my all-time favorite games. I do this on a lot of my recaps with other teams. And
At the Colts.
oh, that was easy. You got there quickly. Okay. So you think they beat Minnesota comfortably? You think they don't have any issues at Maryland?
They might have issues, but I think they win. I think the next loss is at the Kohl Center.
Counterpoint, Maryland might have turned things around.
If we do that and we lose to Maryland, then we win at the Kohl Center.
Okay, so you're saying you'll get one of the 2 road games.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Should be a fun week of Michigan State previews. Shout out Stevie. Stevie Wonder. What a bucket.
Is Stevie 21?
Gotta be.
He had himself a night.
With
I need
that hairline,
I need
gotta
that
be.
footage of him at Fieldhouse.
I'm not a hairline shamer, but like, come on. That's something. By the way, just last thing on Stevie, want it known on record, you could not have finished that and one. You are not capable of the bucket that Steven Izzo gave.
Okay. Relax. And since we're doing that and we're putting things on record, I would 11-0 Steven Izzo.
I don't know. That was a tough move.
I would 11-0 Steven Izzo.
I think Steven Izzo is probably in better shape than you right now.
Hell no.
Stamina-wise, he practices at the D1 level.
Does he?
Yeah.
I feel like he's on the sideline a lot.
I don't know, man. I don't know. How many chewy Chips Ahoy do you think Steven could eat in 24 hours?
A lot. He strikes me as like big appetite, little body guy.
Love those guys. We have one of those guys here.
Wish I was that guy.
Go green, go white. Woof, woof.
Woof, woof.